Good morning, America. This is your friend, Dr. Turi, giving you your daily spiritual regenerations, giving you an understanding to what life is all about, why the news are so ugly, and what's going on in the future. That's what we do here. Today's title of the newsletter associated with this YouTube video is "The Robots Are Coming for Your Job, the reptilius for your life." All right, important newsletter that you must read. And while advanced technology can seriously help humanity in countless areas, that will be the draconian effect. The reptilians will always make sure this technology is wrongly applied to destroy humanity. In reference to the news that I posted yesterday, alarm spreads as Russian floating Arctic-bound nuclear station is launched. There goes the reptilians at work. This technology can really uplift us, help us to live a long life, make your life a wonder, a blessing. But it can also be a true nightmare. It all depends how the power is being used or misused. But how this artificial intelligence will curse your life at a personal level? Now you may ask yourself, well, first, your job, everything is automated nowadays. A lot of people are losing their jobs. If they're not educated, if they don't have degrees, God knows what's going to happen to these people. Much of the people who are doing the hard work, or the Mexicans, so to speak, are not allowed to stay or come in this country. So who's going to pick the tomatoes, the strawberries? You? Me? See what I'm saying? All right, so that is one example. There's billions of examples on how this technology is going to mess us up. So secondly, and the most importantly, is the current transmutation from humans to robots, and that is what is fulfilling the reptilian agenda. Of course, many of you are going to ridicule me, to ridicule my findings, to ridicule my what you may think as overactive imagination. But you know what? Time will tell. It is important to remember those spiritless, soulless, nefarious entities have, like the vast majority of rational, educated scientists, agnostic, and atheists alike, they all have lost the spirit of God. Are you moving into a world where religious people, spiritual people like me, may be sought as inferior, crazy, abnormal, and maybe will have to be eliminated? Well, when the reptilians engaged Hitler, Hitler wanted to promote the human race, but technology was not there yet. The technology he developed with Von Braun, or the V1, was certainly not to help humanity's case. Agree with me? All right. So the problem is that, and they don't know about it, they're totally oblivious. Those young souls were born with an underdeveloped UCI, or underdeveloped unique celestial identity. They're logical, they're rational, and they could never be bothered to explore the old science of astrology, or even comprehend or accept God's cosmic design, or the Creator is speaking to us from the sign I translate every day for you. That's where you're at. Now, the heavy use of robotic will also slowly but surely force the human body to atrophy. We're going to shrink. because hard labor will be a story of the past. I mean, if you look at the old days, I mean, those young kids during the First and Second World War, when they were able to carry so much weight in their bag, ammunition and machine gun and survival with heavy boots, and then they were running all day long fighting the Germans. And let's go before that. The human body was very, very different. Very different. Now we not only atrophying, but we are dying. Look at what you breathe every day with all these cars, those fumes, those infected corporations pouring their mess all over, and you're breathing this. That's not helping the human body. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is humans are slowly but surely turning into this group of extraterrestrials, the reptilius, the nasty one, who need your negative thought to survive in dark matter. And those dramatic physiological changes will come more and more obvious with time. Remember, I'm ahead of you. I'm ahead of time. I'm reading tomorrow here. You take it or you leave it, that's your deal. But I am here to answer at least those who are curious enough and those who are willing to understand the possibility, the very real possibility. Okay. And, you know, the problem is with such controversial messages, it's not a wonder why I've been thrown out of every place, literally. Knowing my revelation could hinder the reptilius agenda, it clearly explains why those who subconsciously slave for them, okay, those religious fanatics who fear God, they're going to go to hell. Those who are insecure, those who are possessed, you know, jealous, negative, destructive, pothead, drug addicts, criminals, those infected souls, you know, they need to get more of those. The reptilians need more, okay? And then knowing that those people slave for the reptilians, not only some of them have managed to remove me from all popular public networking websites, but also they did alter the mind. This is serious. They did alter the mind of those who could help me. Oh, well, it's no good. Dr. Turi is a nobody. Dr. Turi doesn't know what he's talking about with UFOs. Dr. Turi is an egocentric. Dr. Turi is a psychic. It's nothing to do with, is not rational enough. It's all about science and scientific investigation now with UFOs. See, and that is what the reptilians do. They affect the mind with those that could help me and say, no. So I ain't going to quit. I will still be there doing my best, trying to share what I know best. And you have to remember the ultimate rules here, okay? If you make people think like any talking heads out there, okay, they will love you. They will love you for you making them think and entertaining them. But if you really, really make them feel like I do, well, you be sure they're gonna hate you. This is how it works. People have been conditioned to accept their reality. If they vibrate at a specific cosmic speed, let's say they are scientists, they won't give a damn about me talking about the spirit or human transforming into ETs. You know, they want to know. They want to know that the government works with extraterrestrial. It's all scientific. It's all technology. There is secret base on the moon. There is secret base into Antarctica. You know, they want to hear that. That's what they heard forever, and that's what they want to hear. They don't want to hear something different that could challenge them and make them think a little bit harder. You know, it's like being fed constantly the same soup. At the end, you don't want anything else because that's what you have accepted as reality. You know, remember when I had this black star behind me? A lot of people, whoa, 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 he's working with the devil, with evil. Look at this symbol. This is bad. This is bad. Because they heard it somewhere. They've been poisoned by someone, and now they're regurgitating the same fears. The star I had behind me, I found it in the street by the trash. And I painted it black because my wall is white. If I paint it white, you won't see it. So a lot of young souls were like, oh my gosh, he's evil. He's an Illuminati. He's got a black star. I'm an astrologer. I deal with stars. Okay? In reality, they are bright and they are shining. But I say I cannot paint it white because unless I paint my wall black, then they'll still find something. You can't fix stupidity. You just can't, you know. Most of these people are just victimized. They don't realize they're infected, generating fears. All right. Now, we are still into that nasty, plutonic, deadly window, and I'm going to cover some news again to refresh your memories. But we are going to be very soon moving on the 26th. That's the next date. We are moving into the beginning or ending of important phases of life. Natural disaster could be strong enough to be forced thousands of people to be relocated. Pretty much the prediction that I made on George Nori years ago when I predicted Hurricane Katrina that devastated people. I can't remember now. When I channel, it's very hard to come back and here and be rational. I'm totally out there. So when I need to talk about St. Louis, for example, or New York, to give names of places, it's very hard for me to do it. I can't. So it's somewhere on the Gulf coast, on the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so. It's a French place on top of that. But I mean, you know, when my subconscious stopped me to give you more information or a very specific area, it's because you're not supposed to know. And I try to challenge that sometimes. I really, really try to challenge myself. Says, I need to make notes. So this way, when it's time for me to go back on this dense physical world and give something rational, give an answer, give a city, give a place, give a location, I can just read it. But I don't want to do that, because if I do that, I will bypass the filter of my subconscious. Okay? New Orleans. New Orleans. Orleans is a city in French. So I hope nothing is going to get to New Orleans. But that's when I give the specific date on George Nori of Katrina hitting New Orleans. All right. So again, I hope you heard the radio show with my good friend Rob McConnell from Canada. And then you have a little link above which says support my message. Click here to get your Facebook friends to tune in. So basically, click here and share that radio show, share my information, because you know only have you to help me now. I'm totally gone out of every places. I knew it, I forced it, I warned you, and I even warned Taranya, and then here we are. Okay, so now we have only you to battle those reptilius. Now there is another radio show. The link again is live. It's called Little Monkeys, Big Eyes. And then you will realize how I can be so hypnotic in my stories because they are so real. They come out of my heart. So those two kids, they were interviewing me. I knew so much. They knew I had so much of a wide repertoire of information involving UFOs, the draconians, the reptilians. So they just let me talk. I mean, if I was able to catch Carrie Cassidy sometime and make her listening, and for her to go back in control of her show, that tells you that my hypnotic power, stimulated by real deep story, which I explain and express with deep, real emotions, it's very normal. I think even Rob McConnell, my friend, also got caught. But it's because of their experience that they're able to go back on their show. But if you listen to this particular show, you will see young soul who don't have the experience in doing radio shows are easily mesmerized by their guests. So I think I caught Carrie, I caught Rob, and I caught a lot of people because, you know, the intensity, the reality, the passion is there. I'm real. Don't make nothing up. All right, so let's look about the first thing involving this window. If you remember, I told you that this window always, you know, create earthquakes at or above 6.0. So let me go back again. We had a 5.5, Knew it was going to increase. We had a 5.8, 5.9. Now we had after that 6.0. Then we have had that 5.0 magnitude earthquake in California, exactly on the second, as I said it would, in the heart of the window. And today, my dear friend, today we had a 6.0 in Vanuatu. Okay, so basically, how can you deny it? There's no denying. This doesn't mean, again, that the scientific community, the FBI, or those who really need me to make real predictions or to advance earthquakes prediction or to advance anything to do with terrorism, preventing terrorism or anticipating terrorism. Those guys should honor the word science, but they won't. They won't. Okay, it's just the way it is. Too ahead and too controversial. I'm out of the box, so to speak. Even the results being in their face is not enough. All right, so basically, I just made my point again today. This window, I told you, is not over. It's going to get more dramatic, earthquakes, and we got a 6.0. I hope it stay at 6 and it stay away from California, okay? But I was right twice now, okay? All right. Okay, let's move on. Let's see how this deadly, dramatic SOS to the world has cursed a lot of people. High school sweethearts die leaving their weddings. Oh my God. That is sad. Those two kids, they just got married. They had a wonderful life ahead of them. The next thing you know, bam! A truck hit them or something. I'm not sure what it is. I didn't read it. But they died. Imagine the trauma, the drama, the pain, the suffering. The parents, the friends of both families are to go through now. What really happened, I don't know. It's heartbreaking. It's the end results and heartbreaking. But you can be sure there were drugs. There were alcohol. There were negative cosmic biorhythm combined with the SOS negative window. And you know, and I told you, the reptilius will be very, very obvious during those days. And they just took this young couple. Terrible. Singer died with 1 million in uncashed checks. Wow. It tells you that some people are wealthy. They don't bother about going collecting the money. They got plenty of money. But that's sad because it's greed. That money could be used in investing in people like me that want to help other people, spread a message that's crucial for the stake of humanity. That's serious. Again, this is super wealth. This is secret to come to light. And this is all about death. The window of the quadrant are pretty clear. 2 women plead guilty in plot to commit terror attacks in the US. Now women are getting there. Remember, I went to the FBI website and told them to be careful. And you could see how many terrorists they've stopped. Yeah, this window is dramatic. This window is deadly. It directly touched the police force, the FBI, all the Secret Service, and the criminal element, particularly the terrorists. So it looks like if the FBI is somewhere, somehow says, maybe we should pay a little bit more attention to Dr. Turi's timing. They're not going to contact me again. I don't think so, because they think either I'm cuckoo, and they already have a report on me. I mean, 4 of them visited me already. So what else could they do? Put me in jail, trying to save cops' life and help those kids to grow up and become a real detective? You know, I am the first cosmic cop. My kids don't like that. Yeah. You know, they're kids, 35, 40, 45 years old. They're children to me. I'm 70 years old, been around. I can teach them. I can educate them. I can help them and save all those cops and help them to go back home. Because I have the technology, they have the technology. What's missing is the connection. Oh, no. Let's not talk about Dr. Turi. He's not an expert. And there, to repeat myself, my friend, there is a big, huge difference between education and intelligence, or a gift. And doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, expect the same result, shows how stupid they are. All right. You can become too emotional today. Teachers tell students if he were a school shooter, the body count would be 1,000. How many times I told you? Of course, if you're a newcomer, you will not know. But if you have listened to all my videos in the past, okay, that shows that really you are a superhuman, especially if you listen more than 35 seconds. I always told you, during those windows, be careful what you say and what you do, because what you say and what you do will follow you for the rest of your life. So what's going to happen to this idiot? He's a teacher. He's a teacher of the rationale. Yes, he's teaching those kids geography, science, history, music, the art, God knows what. But where are my students and myself in the curriculum? Where are we to teach those kids who they are, where they came from, the location of their soul's purpose, the location of their fear, Saturn, their regeneration principle, Pluto? Many of them are from the death wish generation. They don't want to be here. They want to kill themselves, and they want to kill everybody with them. Nobody is there to teach them that the scorpionic, nasty singer must be killed and turned into the ego and being above all this nasty feeling of destructive energy that will be used by the reptilius and screw or kill, that matter, everybody in the process. I am, in my student, a critical part of the educational system. But humans are becoming too rational, too scientific, too practical. They're turning into those entities. They don't even know it. Not yet. All right. And you remember Rush Limbaugh, once he treated women, he said a really, really bad name about women, and he had to apologize on the national radio. Okay, same type of window. It was a platonic window. The reason why he took his job is because he signed a $400 million contract and they couldn't get rid of his ass. You heard of Rosanna, yes? Rosanna being racist, platonic window. She opened her mouth. Next thing you know, she paid a price. And how many of these famous, rich, educated, rational, practical human beings fell down their big, huge tower of success and hit the ground and got a serious wake-up call because they are not cosmic conscious? You are becoming cosmic conscious because you're listening to me. Remember the rules. If you enjoy my work, if you learn from my work, and if you don't share my work, you're controlled by the reptilius. As simple as that. The reasons are yours. I don't care. I'm just pointing out the fact. In the end, the literature that I've learned doesn't help me, and certainly will help you. But are you listening? Are you going to be part of the solution and help me to work with the draconics, the light, love, education? Remember, knowledge is power. Ignorance is evil. If you don't like the world you're in, well, help me to change it, because we can do it. We're not doomed. Not yet. Now, an 8-year-old girl was shot dead in St. Louis near a high school event. Oh my God. This is really, really, really sad. An innocent little girl. Imagine that. You're taking your kids to a high school gathering. Next thing you know, your little girl is dead. Bunch of infected reptilius gang members, don't like each other's, ego, no education, boom, boom, boom. Kill everybody, kill your kids. Have nothing to do with them. Wrong time, wrong place. Your daughter was never taught that anything about my negative cosmic biorhythm, or worse, negative SOS to the world deadly window. You know, I'm telling you, anytime those energy combine together, there are no accidents. You're playing Russian roulette. chance of making it is just a miracle every day. My heart goes to her family again. Black hole gobbles up neutron star causing a ripple in space and time. Okay, again, remember NASA is a reptilius infected corporation like the Vatican. Okay, there's no way around it. Okay. It's all about making money for the rich, to the rich, help them to visit the space station or Mars. And you believe it. Okay, what about this? What I'm trying to tell you is that NASA has to amuse you, has to keep you interested. They cannot get off the news. These are advertisements. Do you know that it costs about $300,000 for a 30-second advertisement on national TV? Do you see how many times those advertisements are popping up? Each time you see, ring, 300 and something thousand dollars. Give me money for this. Give me money for that. Give me money for this and that. We're going to help the dogs, the cats. We're going to help nature. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to help the children. You are supporting a bunch of infected reptilians people that make you believe they're doing something for humanity. Not saying all of those organizations are bad, but they're all reptilians infected. Who's paying those hundred millions of dollars every year? You, with your money that you give to them. Where's your money to help me so I can have a TV show? So I can have a table with all the sign of the zodiac around it and educate on the dragon and have different people sitting, talking, delegating, and realizing God's cosmic design. Well, we can. I'd love to have a show like that. Totally unique, totally special. Nobody's done it. And believe me, it'll be the most successful show on television because humanity is so degenerating. And there are producers out there, TV producers. There are reality show producers that are constantly looking for a new idea. I have it. But they don't know me because the reptilians have made sure I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on LinkedIn, I'm not on Wikipedia, and I'm nowhere to be found. I don't exist. That's why if you know somebody who has a TV or a radio show who's interested in my work, I only have you now. All right, so let's see. What else do we have? California police say canine died in a hot patrol car. You know, when it comes to animals, I love animals. And I'm not saying this cop just forget his dog, you know. The reptilians could mess up the technology. You know, those vans for the police, they have AC. Sometimes shit happen, put it this way. It happened because Mercury is retrograde. It happened because the reptilians are there to destroy and to hurt anything that can make our life better. But in reality, yesterday, I saw on the news, and I put the link. The link is live. You can go. You should go there and watch the facial expression of this mother. How the hell can I forget my baby in the car? Jesus. Well, now she doesn't have to have a bad husband or a boyfriend who drop her, in jail or a drug addict. She doesn't have to have that. It could simply means that in the back of her head, okay, we're going to go for a drink. We're going to go to eat something. And I don't want the baby to cry there. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough for the reptilians to put a wall between you and your baby. And when you come back, your baby is dead. And you are there crying because you're a good, concerned, loving mother. Yet you've forgotten your own freaking child today. The subconscious is extraordinarily powerful. As I told you before, you go to the dentist, believe me, you ain't going to leave nothing behind. You go to see your friend, you're going to leave your wallet, you're going to leave your key, you're going to leave your heart, because I do it all the time with the friends that are like, your subconscious wants you to stay. If you hate a person, just before you're going to get close to that person, you're going to feel the negative thought. Your subconscious can talk to you. But That's why my book, Beyond the Secret, should be mandatory. This woman should have read my book. That would help her to ground her, to be careful of what you call tunnel vision. Like this cop doing the same type of energy. I was going to California, and then, I saw a kid. It was jaywalking. Traffic was terrible. We were going, 2 miles per hour. So there was an area where we start to pick up speed. And then my car is like a police car. I got friends in New York, police chief, retired, and his son tells me what I can do, what I cannot do as far as light and everything else with the police. Okay? Been working with the cops a long time. So what I'm trying to say is, when I saw this teen, 15-year-old little girl crossing in front of me, immediately I fired my lights. Everybody stopped, and that kid went by me and said, "Thank you." The next thing I know, like 5 minutes later, I had like 6 police cars around me. They stopped me, and a bunch of cops all over me. "You are impersonating a police officer." I said, "Officer, I'm not." "Oh, yes, I saw the light." I said, "Officer, you're doing what you call a tunnel vision. I'm an hypnotherapist. I understand the subconscious." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "You saw red, white, and blue." "Yes." I said, "No, they're yellow and they're white, or green and yellow. They are not white, blue, and green." "Oh, really?" Okay. Went into my car. They took my gun because they know everything. When you're on their side, you're going to have a gun. You have the right to carry a gun in this state. You know that, in Arizona. So they check out my lights, and then they say, "All right, there's nothing you can do. Thank you, goodbye." And I said, "You know what, officer, I'd save a life. I think everybody should have lights like this and stop all these kids, because that kid could be dead right now. A parents, a friend, a family would be mourning. The life would be changed forever. I saved a life, and I was proud of it." Then I said, "You know what, be careful. You're going to hear bad news about the police." I think the next day, a bunch of cops got killed. That happened during that window. During this window, you're going to be sought by the police. They're going to kill you, or you're going to be killed. This is how it works. The reptilians are in charge. You need to be aware. And so is the police, more than anybody else. So click on the link and read why people forget their kids in their cars. I gave a bunch of information. So if you don't want to invest in my book, Beyond the Secret, and learn about the superconscious, okay, or if you don't want to come to any of my conference and grow up psychically, at least read. The link is free. Okay, educate yourself so you don't leave your kid to die in the back of your car, especially if you live in Arizona or in Florida. All right, spacecraft with humanoid robots failed to dock. Oh yeah, that was from the Russians. That tells you the Draconians are definitely working with us. That's good news. So there is what you call the Draconians mission purpose. And there's a set of laws from 1 to 5, okay, and more information that tells you why the Draconians made sure the spacecraft with humanoid robot fell to dock. Just go and read it. Okay, be curious. Be curious. I'm not going to tell you anything. Just go and read it and see that the reptilians the Draconians are definitely in charge. All right, now let's go back to that lady email yesterday. This is absolutely heartbreaking. She sent me, she should be a writer, definitely. This is something I will suggest to her. Or maybe I know she watched this video, honey. Just, you got such an intellectual power. You should focus, you should concentrate and crystallize your thought and use your God-given gift. And then you know what? You're asking me something here, and I'm going to tell you, okay? All right, Dr. Turi, I burst into tears and was so in shock that someone cared to even listen. I did feel overwhelmed, embarrassed, guilt, and upsetting. Because you and your wife basically had to we had to listen to a negative story, and then she thought she was going to take advantage of my compassion and so forth. You can read the email in great lengths. Okay, so basically she was very much touched because I talked about her story and respected her privacy, something I always do. I just wanted answers to why my daughter left me, and I was right. I do not want you working hard to save me, and do not expect special treatment either. I feel bad. Please don't put this in yourself at all. No one can save me, only me. I just need some love and compassion. There's more to it. I live in fear of what my oldest son, who served in Afghanistan, his beautiful soul, but so affected by the abuse takes all I have, used guilt and attacked my younger son. He's out of control, alcoholic, and PTSD. You need to go and read the entire story. Let me tell you something before I proceed with her case. I remember when I was working in England, back sometime, going to work after 2 o'clock in the morning to St. Mary's Hospital. I was driving my little car through the little street in Eastbourne in Sussex. And then one night, I saw this lady ahead of me. And I was going pretty fast because I was late. And all of a sudden, she jumped right in front of my car and lay down. I just had time to jump on my brake, and it was raining. My car slides, and I stopped this from my head. I came out of the car and I was so upset. I said, Jesus Christ, if you want to kill yourself, lady, pick someone else. She was trying to die. Anyway, I was so concerned about her. She was just in a different world. She was not there, literally. I said, look, that's okay. Sorry, I apologize. Get into my car. Go into my car. It's raining. Get into my car. Where do you live? She didn't live far, just a couple blocks away. Knocked the door, wake the sister up, 2 old ladies, and then she go back in. I told her, pay attention to your sister. Oh, she does that. Sometimes she goes out, she gets medication, and I don't see her for 2 or 3 hours. And yeah, well, you might have not seen her again if I didn't have a good reflex driving. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you, England is a Capricorn country. It rains all the time. And it was really hard on me to spend 10 years, 11 years in this country because I'm used to the light, to the sun, to laugh, to good food. And England is far from being this. It's a Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is the great malefic. Okay, it affects the weather. Okay, and then a lot of people get depressed. They get depressed. What I'm trying to say with that specific case that I'm dealing with that lady here is that she has nobody to talk to. Sometimes just saying you care is all they need. A degenerated person is alone, trying so hard to grab attention. And then she's asking me why? I couldn't hurt a fly. Like Charanya says sometimes to me, honey, why am I in this world? Why do I see all this? It's so hard. Why people do this thing? The reason why she's trying to understand what happened to her, why she has a heavy karma, is because she's being trained to become stronger, to become independent, to control her thoughts, to control her environment. In other words, it's pretty much like me when I got cancer. Okay, how can I teach you to avoid cancer or to beat cancer if I never had cancer? Pretty much like, how can I talk about UFOs if I didn't deal with extraterrestrials since I'm 6 years old? Every one of us has his own experiences. So the gift is obvious. She's a writer. She likes to talk. She likes to communicate. So she was trained by the universe to be tough, to be strong. So all her experience now and all the suffering that she has beat the reptilius, because she's still alive, even though that she's telling me she's going to go after October, she has an option. You do have an option, hon. Okay? You can use your power. You were trained by the universe to suffer. So now people like you can read your work, read your feeling, read your emotion like I did. I wrote so many books explaining all that. And that's what makes me better and stronger. And that is exactly what the universe and God wants you to do. That's why you're going through hell on hell. So now you know what it feels like. So you can regenerate. You're venting out. You're signing me books. Okay, I'm reading it all, believe me. And so is Tyrannia. Ultimately, I already know. I give you your little reading right here, right now. Okay. Tyrannia is going to contact you, and we've got something for you. Okay. But I want you to start to think progressively. Do not think in reverse or negatively anymore. Think forward. I don't know your stars. I cannot talk about you. I can only judge from using my own logic and intuition through your words and bypass the reptilius nest of deception, depression that could lead you to suicide. Help you to bypass that and rebirth into the eagles. You can do it. That's what it is. I really hope you're going to understand my message, because I'm so busy. And I will go back to you, Tyrannia, and I will go back to you, and we will help you. But ultimately, I already know why you're suffering hell on hell, and what you should do to get out of it. Beat the reptilius and start to work with the forces of the sun, the draconis, and regenerate all along, because that might be your mission. Don't know yet. Got to do your starting time. All right, my friends. So, same old story. There is a lot of people out there that need your thought. So maybe you want to, tonight, I always says, what did you give the world today? Well, give your thought to that lady. You don't have to know who she is. You don't have to know her name. You don't have to know where she resides. Remember, in time and space, there is no distance and there is no location. It's always now. Everything is omnipresent in metaphysics. So tonight when you go to bed, just before you fall asleep, say, I remember Dr. Turi. He told me to pray for that lady. Don't just pray for her, okay? Pray for all the humans that are going through the same drama. And believe me, thought are things, they are going to reach her. And then she's going to feel an uplifting. And magic is going to start to work around her. You can be part of that light. You can be part of using the psychical lightning sunlight forces to help that person. That's why I took her case. But I got so many. So your prayer, I've got to go to her and everybody else in the process. Give something. Give Dr. Turi. That's what you're going to do with your prayer. You're going to give Dr. Turi in the spirit. But sometimes some people need to read. They're not watching video is not good enough. They want to hear me, or they want to read. So by sharing on your Facebook page, in your group, wherever you are at, what you're doing is to serious things for humanity. And you're helping me, and you're helping my mission. And that's good karma for you. Don't forget. All right. Now, if you want to learn more about metaphysics, the spirits, if you want to learn to harness the creative force of your subconscious and fulfill your destiny, if you want to learn what your soul's purpose is all about and uncover the values of your past life, if you want to learn what your star have in store for you personally in 2020, if you want to learn how to respect specific universal laws based upon your own sun sign, if you want to learn how to use the formidable power of your natal divinity, if you want to learn all about God, cosmic design, and Jesus' immaculate cosmic ministry, if you want to learn all about certain group of extraterrestrials and their particular agenda, if you want to learn all about the essence of all the planet ET assembled together in our solar system for a very high mystical spiritual purpose and the fate of humanity, join us, okay? John, Tom Dineheiser, and myself, Tom Costa Costa and George Nori, producer, in the Spiritual Awakening series, okay? And then once I get advertised, those tickets are going to go fast. So do it now. Don't wait. If you're in California, if you're in LA, that's where it's going to happen. It's going to be happening at the Unity Burbank Center for Spiritual Awareness. Okay, it's a little church. That's why I need to talk about God, cosmic design, and Jesus' cosmic ministry. So that's going to be very, very interesting. So if you are degenerating, if you need help, if you need guidance, I guarantee you that you're going to see the power of Draco big time. You're not going to be disappointed with Dr. Turi. Need to know you to find out. All right, my friend, we're coming in and into this interesting video again. One more time, share it. Share Dr. Turi. Help the world to get a better place so we can all live happily ever after. Hey, make it a good weekend, guys. Bye-bye.